So good night, teacher. My name is Daniel. I'm really sorry. I really apologize about the today's concern. I was talking with a with a technician, yes, in order to fix the my microphone, my computer's microphone, in order to those kind of things will happen. Okay, I'm really sorry for that concern, teacher. Okay. Firstly, teacher, I did two activities. Okay, I correct one and I did a new one. Okay, the corrected one is the flip grid that I explained to you the last class. Yes, the flip grid, and my new follow-up activity is a quiz in quizzes. Okay, in which there will be just 4 questions. Okay, the idea with this quiz is to use the every single option that the program allows me to use. So there are multiple choice questions, there is an open-ended question, there is a fill the blank question, and finally there is a poll. Yes, but what is the intention with this quiz? To wrap up all the things the student learned until that moment. Yes, taking into account the pre-task, taking into account the vocabulary, taking into account the post-task. Yes, so that's the intention of the quiz, to introduce, like, yes, it make like an introduction about an introduction for the post-task, the real post-task. Okay, so the first question: how is the most accurate way to ask for something in a restaurant? See the examples and select the correct one. So if the student took into account the previous vocabulary, the previous activities, he will answer, I would like this soup, because the other options are mostly incorrect. Okay. The second one, right here, how you as a waiter or waitress introduce the menu, yes, to the customer. So good night, use the expressions, something else, do you want anything else? Yes, those expressions that can be important for a waiter in order to introduce a menu to the customer. So that's the main intention of this question. Finally, it's an easy one. Yes, to fill the blank, of one just and simple sentence, which is, do you want a space else? In this case, it's anything else. Yes, if they took into account the previous video, the previous activities, the video, the Padlet, the pre-task too, they won't have problem with that question. Okay, and finally, a poll, which is which kind of restaurants do you frequent? Yes, in order to they take into account that question for the next activity, and especially this, which kind of restaurants do you frequent? Because here they will say, or they will choose, for instance, an average restaurant. However, it will matter to talk about it deeply. Yes, in the flip grid. Okay, but why? Okay, this is the whole quiz. This is the whole quiz. No problems with that. I hope your comments, teacher, about what happened, or what things I did well, or what things I did wrong with this quiz. Okay, now let's go to the Flipgrid. Yes, last time I presented you the Flipgrid, you mentioned that I need to correct some aspects of the Flipgrid from the Flipgrid in order to potentialize the tool. Yes, for my own benefit. Okay, so I try to do that as much as possible, and in this case, I planned, or I partitioned the activity in two. Okay, the first part is that they will record themselves, yes, and they will talk about the 3 first questions appear here. Okay, which are the main aspects you need to take into account when you ask for a meal? Which restaurants do you frequent? Tell us your best experience if you have in a restaurant. If you don't have it, mention the worst experience. Okay, that's the first part in which they will record. And the final one is that they will watch a classmate video, yes, and they will check some aspects to provide a constructive feedback to him or her. Yes, the aspects are pronunciation, intonation, fluency, use of vocabulary, and grammatical structure. Okay, so the intention in this case is to make a peer-to-peer assessment, the idea is that the same student evaluates all those aspects from a classmate. Yes, I think it can be really useful, can be really useful for them, and they could learn more about the language, yes, by doing those peer-to-peer feedback. Obviously, I as a teacher, I will going to check, yes, those answers in order if the assessment is good, or there is needed an improvement. Yes, so that's the intention of my activities, teacher. I don't know if there is the same mistake, or if there is a thing that I need to correct. I really open minded to do those things, because I really interested on looking different tools, yes, to like fit my teaching little by little. So these kind of activities, I think, can be really useful for my formative process, teacher. Okay, teacher. That's all, teacher. So if you have any comment, please tell me as soon as possible, or something like that. Okay, teacher. Thank you so much, teacher, and have a good night, teacher.